With the PowerPoint not uploading properly. Nothing like a corrupted file to put a kink in your evening. But hey, we're here, we're ready to roll. Looking forward to working with each of you. For Lenny the Inkman Green, the founder and architect of Inkway, I'm Andy the Inkster Grider. We're really excited to have each one of you out here at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night to learn about this incredible business opportunity. It's unlike anything else that's out there, mainly because what we have going on is a direct sales channel in a $70 billion industry. An industry that is going to grow in the next 3.5 years to almost double that size to between 130 and 140 million, depending on who you want to believe source-wise. That means that there are 30 cartridges being sold every second right now, whether it's ink or toner. That also means that by 2020, it will be almost 60 cartridges a second being sold. We give you not only an option to be able to refill for others and severely lower the price they're paying on inkjet and inkjet refills, but also sell OEM cartridges off your own website and build a business you can be proud of with a lot of different ways to get paid in, again, an industry that is very well established and that is growing in a disruptive model. Now, what do you look for in a business model? I've been a business coach, a business advisor, a business consultant, and a business owner for quite some time. There are a lot of things I advise clients to take a good hard look at. One is what I just said, disruptive model. Well, what are we doing differently? We have a direct sales piece right in an established market, $70 billion a year, high quality product. Our stuff stacks up better against any of the competition than anything I've ever seen. One thing you want to make sure you're always doing when you compare price competitiveness is make sure you're comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges and not apples to aluminum baseball bats, which is often what happens when we get into this field. Is we start seeing people say, oh, I've got people that can beat that ink price. Well, but what are you paying for? What's the quality of the product? What are you actually getting? How many milliliters, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's nobody else doing what we're doing, and certainly not with the model we're doing it with. I said growing market, wide customer base. How about this? 2 printers in every home, 7 printers in every office. Holy cow. I mean, think about it for just a second. That means that just on your own street, you could probably have 15 or 20 customers up and down, especially if your street goes for a while in each direction, like mine does. I talk to my neighbors all the time about what I do, what I can do for them. Some of them sometimes bring their ink cartridges by. Sometimes their friend drops by. Sometimes somebody else calls me and says, hey, Tom Smith from across the street told me about you, Andy, and, I've heard that you guys can help us save money in our workplace. Yes, absolutely. Here's some of the ways we can do it. One of the ways I can do it is I can get you to the point where if you own your own equipment and your ink isn't part of your lease for your equipment, which sometimes it is, I can get you really inexpensive cost for your ink and for your toner. That's not a bad thing. You want to be a cause people believe in. Well, again, when you own your own business, when you are the person who's at the core of the whole thing, generally people want to support you. If you start talking to people about that and you become the cause they can believe in, along with the fact that you are helping an awful lot to reduce carbon footprint, to make the planet a cleaner, safer place. Look, I don't care if people believe in climate change or not. If you can show them how to keep things out of landfills, most people will not tell you that a landfill is a good thing. Most people will not tell you that they would be against cleaning up the planet. What they might tell you is they don't agree about what's causing climate change, but they most likely will admit it's happening. So if you can show them a way to go green, it's a huge bonus. Even for people that want to sit and deny climate change, it still matters if you present it properly. We talk about that a lot, by the way, on Thursdays at noon. We talk about all the different ways in which you can make a difference with your business. Tomorrow, we're going to go over some pretty direct aspects of how to get your affiliate website up and running and how to market it. But next week after that, we probably are going to tackle other marketing angles. We're going to tackle other pieces. Then there's going to be one on LinkedIn. There's going to be one on other things. That brings me to this marketing materials, education, and support. I'll come back up to the other piece in just a second. But we are actually growing what we're doing for you, helping you out, and giving you education and support that I honestly have not seen from too many companies that I've worked for. We're going to teach you how to use LinkedIn properly. We're going to teach you how to use social media properly. Each Thursday, there's a new topic that's going to come up. We're going to start with the basics, then we're going to work from there. We have just launched an affiliate program, autoresponder, a founder and elite distributor program. That's kind of like if you've been in a part of an affiliate program. Sorry, my brain got ahead of my tongue. My tongue got ahead of my brain. If you look at the idea of an affiliate program that's been an autoresponder that does training, it's the same sort of autoresponder you've probably seen before, but we're going to give you in-depth detail on how to do each aspect of your business. So you're going to get an email every couple days showing you something new within your business. So if you can't make those Thursday noon webinars, we'll put a link to them in there so you can go back and watch it. But we're also going to surmise what we said in the 25 or 30 minutes we're on that webinar in a shorter email format with some backup documentation and maybe a video or two to go with it. So again, take the time to let us know that you want to be signed up for that. CEO at inkwayusa.com, CEO at inkwayusa.com, or you can, anytime you sign up for the webinar, you're automatically signed up for the autoresponder as well. So you very well may start getting those here in the next few days. Another thing I talk to people all the time about is compensation in various forms. You do not want to be in a business that literally has one way of making money. If you're going to have one way of making money, let's say you go and collect your W-2 job every week from Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and you have one way to make money, which is to show up and hope that at the end of the week or the pay period or the 2 weeks or whatever of the month, they pay you, and then they don't let you go. That's your one way of getting paid. The reason you don't want just one way of getting paid is if you put all your eggs into that one basket, then you can lose, and you can lose in a pretty big way. A lot of us found that out around 2008, 2009, myself included. And when you don't have compensation coming in various forms and from multiple angles, it makes a difference. So this is a great reason to have an auxiliary business that you can be proud of, you can build, you can turn from there. Now, support. We give you product support, we give you tech support, we give you training, not only on marketing your business and growing your business, but on the business opportunity itself. And so you can bring people to this webinar, you can show them what they can do. You've got stocking, shipping, and handling all handled for you. You do not have a garage full of crap that you don't need. You don't have to worry about cost of goods. You don't have to worry about any of that. You also have a low entry price point. Compared to a franchise or a license, this is a lark. It's a tiny little bit. You have a low monthly operation cost. Again, compared to a franchise or a license where you pay 7, 10, 11, 15% of your gross revenue each month towards marketing, that really, that's not what we're asking for here. We ask you for $49.99 a month. That's it. And every 6 months, we send you an inkjet refill station. What does that mean to you? Well, that has a wholesale value of $300, a retail value of $750. So every 6 months, we send you basically a way for you to make $450 profit in just for being a part of the company. I've never seen a company do something like that. That's kind of crazy. But then again, Lenny's kind of crazy in a good way, and he loves everybody, and he wants everybody to succeed. We also have the ability to begin now. You could start tonight if you wanted to. When we're done with this, you send us an email off to ceo@inkwayusa.com, and you go from there. Now, why build a business? Well, most people are down about $400 a month for the average American family, and most people are worried about their jobs if the economy changes. If, of course, the economy changes in a bad direction, they're going to worry about their job. So when you think about it that way, that's 1 out of every 2 people is worried about their jobs, and most American families are down an average of $400 a month. That means they have more month than they have money. You get to the end of the month and you're trying to stretch everything like a Gumby doll until the arms and legs come off of it. And each month you end up racking up more credit card debt, you end up borrowing money, you end up throwing good money after bad, and yet you're still sinking despite both you and your spouse or your partner or your roommate or whomever working. If it sounds familiar, I'm sorry. If it sounds familiar, I empathize. I don't just sympathize, I understand completely. And I understand that each one of you will want to find a way to put that money back in your pocket. So tonight, I'm going to show you how you do that. How do you put $200, $300, $400, $500 a month back in your pocket? We talked about why Inkway, a lot of reasons why this model works, but let's talk about why ink. People are getting ripped off right now. They're paying $9,000 a gallon in the way they normally buy ink. Why ink? Well, why Inkway again? We have a solution for every printer. Every single one of them out there, you have a solution for. Some of them you have multiple solutions, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 solutions for. The other idea of going green, why ink? Well, it's an industry that literally needs cleaned up. It needs a little bit of help because right now we're putting enough cartridges into a landfill that if you lined them up end to end, they go around the world almost 4 times right now. Almost 4 times. That's insane. All right. We just talked about how much do you spend per gallon. Most people guess $100, $200, $500 a gallon, and they think they're being outrageous. It actually is $9,000 a gallon or more because more and more reports are coming in. These manufacturers of the cartridges are actually sinking the reservoir or shrinking the reservoir inside the cartridge down to from 7 milliliters to 5 milliliters or 5 milliliters to 4 milliliters. Each time they do that, you're not paying any less for the cartridges and you're getting less milliliters of ink. What it boils down to is if you do the refills yourself, our ink costs around 8 cents a milliliter. Theirs is at least $2 a milliliter, and that's based on probably 3-year-old calculations. It could be easily as much as $4 or $5 a milliliter by the time you pay for all the packaging, branding, positioning, shipping, placement in the store, all the spiffs and all the extra bonuses and sales they want to run, all that kind of stuff all factors into how much you pay for ink overall, so that when they do bring it down a few bucks, they're still not losing their shirts, and then they can pop it back up to something higher that you're going to pay most of the time. We don't do that. You get an inkjet refill station, you do your own refills. We have refillable, reusable cartridges that are phenomenal. They're little Tupperware-looking tins that have a chip built into them. I use them for my HP 6600 that I absolutely love having here because I pull out the syringe, I stick it in the bottle, I fill it with ink, I remove the little plug, I fill up the cartridge, I stick it back in the printer after I put the plug back in, and bada bing, bada boom, bada bang, I'm rolling again. I don't have to think about it for weeks, months, at a time, even though I print a lot. We talked about this also. Because of that inkjet refill station, you have a solution for every printer. I said you might have a couple solutions for other printers, for various printers. Some of them will have the refillable, reusable cartridges. About 80, 85 different printer styles now have those available for them. If you have a laser printer, we have toner available. If you have an old printer, an off-brand printer, we can show you how to refill your cartridges. Every single printer has a solution. It's high-quality ink. It passes what we call the eye test 9 out of 10 times. So in other words, if we print something on an HP 6600 with our ink, and we use the same HP 6600 with the competitor's ink, 9 out of 10 times, somebody looks at that picture of the turtle with all the fish around it and says, I picked this one, and we flip it over, and it's the Inkway picture. Okay? 9 out of 10 times. That's also insane. That's incredible. That's the kind of thing that we really want to be able to say again and again and again because it wins us a lot of business. Now, we talked about saving the planet. I've talked about the landfill issue. I've talked about why it matters. But here's the thing, is who it matters to. We'll talk about this a lot more in depth in one of these upcoming Thursday webinars. I'll cover it briefly here. There is a huge shift in the workplace where right now the largest generational group in the workplace are the millennials. The millennials are known for a lot of things, but one of the things they're known for is their commitment to the environment and saving the planet, reducing the carbon footprint, finding a way to refill, reuse, recycle, or reduce, reuse, recycle is the normal way of looking at it. We're going to show them how to refill, reuse, recycle, and a lot of them are moving into office management positions where they're going to make a buying decision. If they're not, then the Gen Xers are, and there's about a 60-40 shot in the positive side that they actually really care enough to make a buying decision based off of it. If you've got somebody who's older, they may or may not, and you kind of have to take that as it comes. But this is starting to become more and more important to more and more people, and those more and more people are becoming more and more responsible within their companies. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about how everyone is a customer. Everyone. On the personal side, I don't care. Again, I'm going up and down my street. I've got school kids that live on the street. I've got parents that live on the street. I've got grandparents or seniors that live on the street. Some of the people that live down the way from me here on the right-hand side are teachers. There's at least one guy around here who's a photographer. Then one of them actually has a real estate agency that he works out of his house. One of them is an appraiser that works out of his house. The other one, further on down, has a mortgage company. They might be a doctor's office, a dentist office, an attorney's office. It could be a business, large or small. Look, we know you know people who use ink. We don't even have to ask a question, do you? Because we know you do, and you know you do. Again, it doesn't matter how large or small the business is. There are oftentimes a situation where maybe 60 people work for the company, 45 of them work from the office, 15 of them work from home and telecommute. They might be 1099 staff, they might be salespeople, they might be contract workers of some sort in another way. If that's the case, the best thing to ask the receptionist or the office manager, if she or he tell you that, hey, we lease our equipment and we get all of our income through the lease. Okay, great, no problem. How about these 15 people that work from home? How do they get their ink? Oh, well, they're contractors, so they buy all their own stuff. Could we pass a link to them that says, hey, here's a source you can use that will be helpful for you. I'll give you my link, and they can go to my store and buy from me. You pick up recurring customers. I've done it 3 times now. I had a discussion with a distributor the other day who was like, I can't believe that would happen. I'm like, well, have you tried it? And I was told immediately, well, no, but it just doesn't seem possible. I'm like, I'm living proof. I mean, I'm not getting a check for nothing every month when I have people come into the store and buy stuff. Do I have to do some work for that sometimes and answer some questions and things? Yeah, absolutely. But is it worth my time? Absolutely, because I've got somebody who's a customer for life now. Somebody who's jumped in and is going to keep on calling back and keep on ordering their cartridges from us or their inkjet refill stations from us because guess what? They like us. They like me. They like you if it's you doing it. And each time you're going to get a chance to have not only a loyal customer, but potentially, a lot of these independent folks have actually asked me, how do I get into this business? How do I do this? And I'll send them the link to our webinar, and they'll look at it because a lot of them are busy in the evenings. They're family folks. They've got kids. They can't make it out at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night. But then again, we put everything on inkwayusa.com right up in the top center, or if you know our YouTube channel link, you can go directly there. Every week we post these webinars, every single week. So there's never an excuse for somebody not being able to get to a webinar. You can always refer them to the ones on the YouTube channel. Now, one other place that you have customers waiting for you, lined up for you, is in the world of churches, nonprofits, schools, sports teams, and other places like that where you can run fundraisers. Put the fun back in fundraising. It's absolutely imperative that they take a look at this incredible fundraising opportunity. Believe me, you can have a lot of fun with the play on words here. I know it's cheesy. I know it's silly. And I know sometimes it gets overdone here. But every time I talk to somebody about a fundraiser, and I start saying, this is incredible, you have a chance to put the fun back in fundraising, they almost always pay attention. It's crazy. You can go out as a founder and use those inkjet refill stations that you got, 4 of them for every single one of your founding units that you buy. By the way, we'll get into that in just a second, but there's some really great pieces for folks that want to become a founder and why you want to become a founder versus just being an elite distributor. We'll show you here in a minute. But coming back around, again, you can use this to help people and build yourself a customer base, because guess what? Once the fundraiser is over and you've shown them how to save this kind of money, and they can come back to you and have you refill their cartridges again later, or they can buy from your store later, that kind of thing, they often do. I can tell you, living proof right here. All right. How do you turn ink into cash? Well, here's the compensation plan. The biggest thing I would tell you is, if you can become a founder right now, and we have founder units available, it's the best thing to do. If you're a current founder and you have an extra set of cash laying around where you can increase the amount of founder units you own, I think it would probably be something that would be worth your consideration. The reason being, Every time a founder comes in, they pay $1,000 for one founder unit. They get 4 refill stations. I'm going to show you how to triple your money here. Okay? $750 profit times 4 is $3,000. That's 3 times your original money in coming back. If you take that out and you go net, you're making $2,000 with materials we send you. $2,000 available to you as soon as you start doing some basic work. All it takes is going out and starting to refill for others. It's not hard to do. Now, I'm going to say this up front and very honestly. I say it every Thursday. I usually say it on Wednesdays, and I want to make sure I say it today. This company and this opportunity to build a business does not mean I'm going to jump in and other people are going to do all the work and I'm going to suddenly sit back and collect a check and smile. It doesn't work like that. If you're not willing to go out and actually work the business, actually push this, actually deal with some rejection, and get to the point where you're saying, hey, wow, this is work, then you're actually working this business. You're going to deal with some successes too. There's going to be some beautiful things that happen. But along the way, there's going to be bumps and bruises. As you get used to talking about this, as you get used to rolling it out and talking to other people about it, you're going to get rejection. You're going to get people that push back. You're going to get people that say, oh, I can get better prices at XYZ. You know what? All I have to say about that is sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. But if they're not really willing to do business with you now, move on. There's 500 more people for you to talk to, 1,000 more people for you to talk to, whatever it might happen to be. Now, as a founder, you also get a couple other big bonuses that nobody else gets. The reason I said to look at it is also because of these profit sharing pools, and we'll talk about that here in just a bit. Now, let's talk about bonuses that everybody gets, whether you're an elite distributor or a founder. You get 10% bonus on all web store sales. That your replicated website, you send people to it, it tags them as your person. We put them in the system as your person. Anytime they come back and order, you get commission. 10%. We do all the stocking, shipping, handling, and consulting to get them the products they need and get it shipped out to them, and even teach them how to use it if they buy an inkjet refill station. How's that for cool? Again, all the work's done for you. You get an $80 referral opportunity bonus across the year. So somebody who comes in and picks up an inkjet refill station immediately when you refer in a distributor, you're going to get a $40 opportunity bonus right up front when they get their first inkjet refill station. 6 months later, as long as they stay on and they get their next inkjet refill station, you get another $40, making $80. Every one of those inkjet refill stations you have, and as an elite distributor, you get 2 per year. And as a active founder, you get 4 per unit up front and then 2 more per year. And you can make a profit of $750 on that. That's pretty incredible, or incredible, if you want to look at it that way. This elite bonus pool, everybody shares in it. It's not the same as numbers 3 and 4. It's number 8. It's the elite bonus pool, and that's every time an inkjet refill station gets sold. Out of the $300 or so that's charged for it, $31.50 goes back into the elite bonus pool and is shared amongst everyone. All elite distributors and all founders are divided into the elite bonus pool, and a equal check is sent to everyone. Again, only founders can participate in bonus 3 and 4. We'll show you how those work in a second. I've already talked about a lot of the next couple things that are on here, bonuses 9, 10, and 11. Another way you can get paid is to refer a founder. Okay? Refer a founder, get $60 one time. Not a bad little deal. Your monthly fee, as I said before, $49.99. $49.99. That's it for a founder or an elite distributor. Doesn't matter which. That's all you're paying. Now, think about it this way. If 8 people sign up at $49.99 a month and become elite distributors, your monthly business expenses are pretty much covered just out of your $40 bonus in the first round and $40 bonus 6 months later. So think about that for a second. Now, I promised you at the beginning of this, and I'm going to hold my promise, we'll show you how to put $200 to $500 per month in your pocket right here on an example in front of you. It's pretty easy math to figure out on your own, but I always find it a lot easier for me when people walk me through things so I see it the first time. So there's a lot of different options and ways you can start making that first $200. You could refer 5 people in at the $40 and make your $200. You could refill 5 printers with 20 cartridges, and you should be looking at least $250 at that point. If you do them both, you're going to make $450. If you refer 5, refill 5, and sell 500, which you'll get 10% off of, that's another $50, and that's a total of $500. Now, why is it that I would say that that is not even just the tip of the iceberg? Well, because all of those people that you referred in are going to start talking to other people, and you're going to start seeing more and more money go into that elite bonus pool as more and more people pick up the inkjet refill stations. As you refill for others, you're going to start getting referrals to refill for more others and more others and more others. And as you sell, that $50 that you made this month might repeat 2 months from now, might repeat 6 months from now, might repeat a year from now, but most likely your customer is going to come back and order again, which makes it residual, ongoing money. Now, there's a whole other piece here. If you want to make $2,200 or $2,500, we show you another way to do it. I'm going to stick with the $200 to $500 range and tell you that that's what I want you to concentrate on out of the gate. Get to where you're making that, then we'll discuss the rest of this. Examples of profit pools. What the profit pool is set up to do is it takes 20% of company net profits for Inkway and Accubright. Now, Inkway you're going to know because you work for Inkway if you're a founder or an elite distributor. Accubright, you may not. It's part of our larger parent holding company. It's another division, and it's our wholesale catalog big box division. So do we sell other products to those types of companies that involve ink? Yes. Do we sell what you sell? No, not even close. And so those 20% is split into 4 pools the following way. Let's say it's $10. So $2.50 would go into Pool A, $2.50 into Pool B, $2.50 into Pool C, and $2.50 into Pool D. In Pool A, founders with at least 1 unit or a portion thereof, because we used to sell partial units, we don't anymore, share in Pool A. Pool B, founders with at least 2 units, share in Pools A and B. And you do need 2 full units to share in Pool B. Pool C, founders with at least 5 units share in Pools A, B, and C. This leads me to the comment I made earlier. I'll make it again. If you're a current founder and you can afford it and you want to look at it, it's a pretty good idea to see if you can bump from Pool A to Pool B or Pool B to Pool C at this point while founder units are available. If you're a big kahuna and you really want to be the king of the roost and you want to become the founder with the most units, you can lay claim to Pool D entirely all on your own. You don't get any of Pools A, B, or C, but you do get all of Pool D, all to yourself. So if you're one of those kids that used to like to take the ball and leave the playground, I'm going home, I'm going to take my ball, I'm leaving, and I want to be the top dog, and I want to set my own rules, you can jump in. We have enough units left that you can become the top purchasing founder. At this point, we have enough left to do it. We just need to hear from the right person. And I'll be honest with you, you may not be the right person, but you may know the right person. So think about the people you know. Think about people that like to take chances on investments, who want to put good money into something and then put that money in and work a business. It may be something they hand off to their kid who's in college. It may be something they hand off to their kid who's even in high school. It may be something that their wife does so she's not sitting around the house bored out of her skull all day. The simple fact is a lot of people miss working when they're not working. I know retirees have it made because they're retired. I can't tell you how many retirees I know that work this model of ours, and how many retirees that are jonesing to go out and do something during the day so they don't go stir crazy. Some of them choose to go back to work. You may know one of them, and they may be able to turn around and say, hey, I've got $5,000 to drop into a business for Inkway. I want to pick up 20 inkjet refill stations. I want to go out and do a fundraiser where I can go through a lot of those, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I want to give back to my community. I want to build a business that I can hand off to my grandkids. There's all sorts of reasons. I want to build a business that will get my son, who's in high school, enough money so he can go play airsoft on the weekends without me having to give him $50 every day or every weekend. Those kind of things. All right. Now, what else do you gain? This is a lot of what we cover on Thursday, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. But Inkway University is meant to be an on-demand learning university. The Thursday webinars are part of what comes out of it. We teach you how to work with Opportunity Launch, which allows you to do landing pages and capture pages. We teach you LinkedIn training. We teach you social media training. We show you the videos that make them available to you, which we have one for customers. We have one for elite distributors. We actually don't have one for founders. We probably should make one. And then we go through and we show you how to leverage time to make money when we bring you into the Uber of Inc. We're working on the apps for those. Right now, where we stand with it is we want more people on board before we launch it. For it to be effective, we're going to need more names in the database. We're going to need to have more people who are active in order to be able to launch it properly. So that's what I would say there. People always ask, when are we going to launch that? Well, we're going to launch it as soon as we have critical mass to have enough names in the database so that when somebody punches in their zip code, they actually have an Inc. man or Inc. woman that was within 50 miles of them. That's the key. That's the biggest key to that tool. And the way to make that happen is to bring people to this webinar on Wednesday nights or get them to inkwayusa.com. And in the top middle of the screen, it says Webinars and Training. Click on it, go find the most recent webinar, and send them the link. It's really not hard. If they can't get here Wednesdays at 8, send them the link. If they can't get there Thursdays at noon, send them the link. And send them the link to the YouTube channel so they can go in and say, okay, here's all the training Andy's done since February. Here's all the training and all the overviews that they've done in the last couple months. Okay? You begin your business by working on asking questions. Where do you buy your ink? Hey, Steve. Hey, Scott. Hey, Sue. Hey, Sam. I just started my own business, and I'm showing people how to start paying as low as 8 cents a milliliter for their ink, which means that normally you pay between $2 and $4 a milliliter for your ink. Oh, really? Yeah, really. Those cartridges only hold 5 milliliters. Holy crap! Wow. And I can refill your cartridges for $10, $12 a piece, as opposed to you getting them done at the store and paying $25, buying them new and paying $25. Plus, you don't have to throw that cartridge in the landfill now. It's not going in the garbage. It's not going into the landfill. You get to reuse the cartridges a couple times. And then you do a couple refills, and then you show them these refillable, reusable cartridges with the inkjet bottle packs, and now you've got monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly or biannually or annual income coming in from that person who's buying the ink bottle packs at that point. Again, it all plays together. Is any of it perfect or is any of it clockwork? No and no. However, the one thing I have found that is if you go out and work hard at it, and I don't even spend full time on this, I don't even spend anywhere near full time on this, and I've managed to create sales myself just by talking about what I'm doing. Asking people, do you know how much ink costs for most of us per gallon? It's crazy. And people are kind of angry right now anyway, if you haven't noticed, at least here stateside. I know we've got a couple of people from around the world, and they might be looking at our current situation and going, what the hell is going on in America? But there's a lot of very angry people. They're tired of being ripped off. They're tired of the status quo. They're tired of things being the way they are. And so if you can channel into that here in the States, for all the reps we have here that are stateside, it could be a really good thing because the people are, they're like, hey, I'm tired of being ripped off. Show me an alternative. I'm tired of things the way they normally are. Show me an alternative. It's crazy the way that works. Now, if you begin advertising your website and your ability to refill, you begin to talk about growing your business. If you leverage the marketing tools and resources we have to help you, you take advantage of the Thursday trainings, you get onto the autoresponder I mentioned earlier in the call. Those are all very helpful ways to get things moving. So at this point in the call, I try to tell people that you do kind of have a choice here. If you're curious, and you should be by now, otherwise I haven't done my job at all. But if you're interested in jumping in, you want to get started, you want to get started tonight, you want to get started this week, you want to get started over the weekend, send us an email at the address down here, ceo@inkwayusa.com. I always have to be careful I don't throw a line through the doggone thing because I stink with this magic marker here, or highlighter. But so ceo@inkwayusa.com or Andy, A-N-D-Y, at inkwayusa.com. CEO is going to get to Lenny, Andy's going to get to me, and what we're hoping to do is either get you a founder unit and get you started as a founder, or a couple founder units and get you started as a founder, or at a minimum get you in as an elite distributor. That can be done for as little as $49.99 a month. Most people will purchase one of the inkjet refill stations up front and then start paying their $49.99 a month so they can get started right away. Again, each one of these things, you can make $750 back on an inkjet refill station, and it can be done in a month or so. So you've made back your initial payment, and you've made a few $100s in profit already right out of the gate, even after you buy yet another inkjet refill station at that point, so you can continue refilling for others. I'm telling you right now that if you take the time and you work this and you push on this, it is absolutely insane what can happen. And we're really excited to have you on board, have you bring in the people that you think will be interested in this and get them on board. And to have, last but not least, a business you can be proud of that you build over time into something that turns into a nice tertiary income or secondary income within your household, which allows you to send your kids to camp, allows you to take the vacation you wanted to as a family, go and purchase the slightly added on package to the car that you were looking at. There's all sorts of things this can be used towards. It can be towards setting up a tuition fund for your grandchildren. There's all sorts of different things that it might be your reason. Think about your why. Think about why you want to jump in. Figure out which path makes most sense to you. On a business level, you want to be a founder. On a hobby level, you want to be an elite distributor. And you want to be a founder now before it goes away, because eventually we'll run out of units and we won't have any more to sell. And when that day happens, it happens. And then we move on to just selling elite distributorship, and everything about foundership will disappear from this presentation. So if you tune in next week and suddenly there's no more mention of founders, it means they're all taken. And it means that last week I could have called in and upgraded, or I could have called in and bought a unit, or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. But I didn't, and now I'm going to get smacked for not having taken advantage of that, because I won't have that opportunity anymore. Opportunities doors closing does not always mean a door of equal size or value opens instead of it or in front of it. It just means that a door is closed and there's another one that will open, but how relevant that is to what you're trying to do is kind of untold at that point. Again, get in while you can. Don't waste time. Don't sit there on your hands. If you're already a founder, get out and get moving. Get using those inkjet refill stations you have. Come into the Thursday training webinars and figure out what it is you want to do to help you grow your business, what best ways there are to help you grow your business. Contact us with questions at ceo@inkwayusa.com. And right now, I'm going to take about 3 more minutes, because I don't want to run this past the 45-minute mark. And I'm going to ask if anyone has any questions. You can hit me on personal chat or our public chat here. Either way is fine. Anyone have any questions this evening? How protected are territories? Great question. They're not. And the reason being is, quite frankly, because there's 2 printers in every home, 7 printers in every office. You could have 50 different people working in your city, in a regular sized city, and you're not going to run into each other all that often. There are more people that use ink than buy supplementary insurance, and you think about how many AFLAC agents you know if you know folks in that field. Think about how many people you know who are some sort of insurance agent, whether it's health insurance or how many people you know that are real estate agents. Do you think they run out of work? They don't. And that's because homes sell every time, every week, every day, every month. And they don't need to sell a lot of them in order to be pretty happy. Well, the same thing goes for the ink side of the world. You don't need to have that many customers each month to make your $200, $500, $1,000, but you do need to have consistent effort, and you do need to have work going in. So that would be my answer. We don't protect territories, but if, for instance, somebody throws in the 30032 zip code into the green InkX tool, then they're going to find that maybe these 3 people are the closest to me. They'll go to the profiles of those 3 people. Hey, Andy works on Sundays, and he's usually at this coffee shop and refilling for others. I'm going to take my cartridges over to him and see if he can refill for me. hey, Joan has a web store, and I want to work on I want to go through a web portal, so I'm going to choose her. Hey, wow, this guy will actually come to my house, or have me come to his? Oh, I'm going to talk to him. There's all sorts of different options you can set up in your own back office when you set up the profile. And when you do that, then people can find you, and they can look at what your situation looks like and how you're handling things, and then go from there. I've got one more question coming in, and that's about all I have time for as well. Okay, Randall, that's a question we probably will want to address in an email because it's going to take way too long to try to explain it here. Either that or send Andy at inkwayusa.com, Andy, A-N-D-Y, at inkwayusa.com, and give me the specs that you're looking to get covered, and we'll research it and get back to you. Folks, the question's about a specific printer and whether we can actually work with it or not. And I would tell you, Randall, I think that there's a good chance we can, but I can't promise that until I've done the research, that 100% exactly how to best handle that situation. We'll be able to handle it, but I just don't know what the best way is going to be. Anyone else? I've got time for one more question. And I think that's it for the evening. So as Andy the Inkster Grider, I'm signing off for Lenny the Inkman Green. I do hope you all have a marvelous evening and a splendid rest of your week. Don't forget, tomorrow at noon, we have a Thursday training webinar. We'll be focusing on how to launch, sign up for, launch and blast off and market your affiliate replicated website. All right. That's all for me, Andy the Inkster Grider, signing off. Thank you all very much for a absolutely splendid Wednesday evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.